What's up, everyone? It's Carrie, aka Nerdygirlcreates. Yes, I'm back. Yes, Otaku Tuesday is back, and I am here with the squad.
Yay.
And today's topics, it's all about the outrage. Outrage. But first, we're going to catch up with everybody on the panel today, and we're going to start with Bo. Hey, Bo, what have you been up to?
Oh man, I've chosen a couple of jobs in the time that I was out. I've been kind of trying to see what I want to do. I have that option now, and in that time, I've actually been enjoying a lot of One Piece. So I'm actually going
a lot.
Yeah, a lot. I'm going back and forth in between the anime and also the manga. But right now, I am watching the Whole Cake Island. So I'm like about episode close to 900. I mean,
Okay.
let's put it that way. So yeah, that's what I've been doing so far.
And also joining us for the first time in a while, Mr. Asianmerr himself. Anthony, how are you?
Hey guys, doing all right. You know, the stress of just school and life hitting you all at once. Just been dealing with that, stuff like that. But just trying to keep on track. You know, not much to say.
Oh yeah,
Well,
it's been rough.
Been rough.
Yeah, tell me about it. I am really happy to be back. A lot of craziness happened in life, especially with my mom. She's going through some heavy medical issues right now, and I want to thank everybody who's been going to my GoFundMe to help us with the medical expenses. I did include the link down below if anybody wants to donate. Again, I appreciate everything. Also, I was in a job transition too. I was out of work for a while, and I finally got a new job, which has been interesting, but it also allows me more time to make videos again. So you're going to be seeing me pumping out the content. So looking forward to that. But now it's time to get into the outrage. It's 2024, Bo, and everybody's angry.
Yes, it's already started. Like we've reset the clock, and everyone is just jazzed. They're ready to go. So we've just been seeing just hot take after hot take. People are wanting some interaction.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now, just for the viewers, these are not, just disclaimer, these are not our opinions. We're just looking at the situation. Some stuff we might get into, but again, it doesn't reflect anybody else's opinions, blah, blah, blah. You know the whole drill. So,
Yeah.
Bo, what do we have up first on this whole outrage topic?
All right, first, we all loved the One Piece live action, let's say the majority of us liked it or loved it even.
Yeah.
I think it was highly praised and very well read. We've already lost Asian.
Yeah, I know he didn't like Zoro.
Last time we discussed One Piece is where I stopped. I haven't watched every single more of the live action. Not to say it's bad or anything. I did enjoy some things, but I have to go back to it.
Oh yeah, and I figured. Sorry, I had to stop myself. I was like, wait, no, you didn't like it.
I didn't finish it.
But I'd say I think you'd like it. But
I had some people who told me they liked the Yo-Yo Hakusho series better than the One Piece live action, and I was kind of like, I thought it wasn't bad, but I liked the One Piece better.
It's dark, it's interesting, and I have to sit down and watch it. But I feel like it needs my whole attention, and I got so much stuff going on
that's my
throughout
problem.
the day. I was like, I know it's gonna be good. I know I'm gonna like it, but I want it to give it my whole attention.
Yeah,
it does have me interest in the manga.
Have you ever like touched Yu Yu Hakusho at all?
I read a couple chapters on Shonen Jump.
Avoid the live action.
Volumes.
Avoid the live action.
That's what people are telling me.
So when it came out on when it first came out, the day it came out, basically every Yu Yu fan that was on TikTok was like, oh, I'm gonna try it out, and here are my first impressions. And basically the consensus was the same because I asked I've never experienced Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm planning to. Should I start with the live action? And pretty much what they tell you is the first episode is really good if you were starting out. Besides that, it just I think it mashes a bunch of arcs together. So it's more of if you have read the source material or watched the source material, you'll like it. It's not the source material, so it won't be as good as source material. But it's for fans. But on its own, it doesn't stand that well because a lot of things shift over.
And the manga says for Yo-Yo, watch the anime 100%. Yes. Manga is also good. Top 5 shonen ever.
Yeah, I'm planning to watch the anime sometime this year for it. But a lot of people would tell you to go watch the anime, and then if you really want to, go ahead, because like the choreography and the fighting is really good in the live action, and visually it's very appealing. But besides that, like you will be lost and like you won't get things.
Well, yeah, kind of like I got through like
Oh,
3 episodes.
Bo,
There's
you're
a lot of
muted.
stuff I was like, well, I was only into 3 episodes and I was kind of lost on some stuff, but the action sequences are nice. I like them
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah.
So
I did read
speaking of
volume 1.
action,
Oh
yes,
shoot, we got off course. So sorry.
that's okay. But
Sorry.
speaking of live action,
Yeah, the
speaking of live action,
Outrage.
oh
So
yeah,
if you
we
want
all
to pull
know
up my screen,
Sanjay.
I think
Yes.
I'm sharing it right now. So
Why don't
Sanji.
you explain this, Bo?
So what happened? It looks like Sanji was doing a fundraiser with the Red Cross, and this is a hot topic, everybody. This is that whole Palestine Israel thing. I'll be honest with me, I know absolutely nothing about it. I like to concentrate on what's going on around me in my neighborhood, in my city. I probably should dabble in to get more information, but honestly, this here, he set up a foundation. A fundraiser so he can probably help everybody, the victims. And victims happen on both sides. So again, we're trying to be neutral here, but he has been bombarded. What's the word I'm
Bombarded.
looking for? Yeah,
Bombarded.
bombarded.
Yeah, he's been bombarded.
Yeah,
And
with
yeah,
just
and his name is Taz Skylar. He's an English
yes.
actor.
Mhm.
Yes, he is English, also Spanish, I believe.
Yeah.
He has some Spanish
No,
heritage.
Lebanese, because he brings that
Lebanese.
up. Lebanese. He brings this
Okay.
up in his post.
Yeah, so he's basically saying, "Hey, I'm just trying to start something to help the people that are hurt, that are hungry, that are thirsty." He kind of gives a good little reason as to why he was doing what he was doing, but a lot of people weren't up for it. They're wanting him to pick a side, and that's almost everywhere. There's no middle ground anymore, and that I don't like that because again, there's victims on both sides. Obviously,
Right. And to clarify, his donation was to help anybody. It wasn't even
yeah,
just limited to this. It was to help anybody, but a lot of people just wanted him because of his background to pick a side.
yeah. I saw a couple of posts on there where they're telling him to just go away, and honestly,
We
those
can't
need to
say
get
here on Twitter.
reported. I was like, these people are insane. But there was a few people in there that were actually showing some kind of being like understanding, and that I was appreciative of. But yeah. Hey, Kitty, what are you saying? Here's something controversial. I found Hunter x Hunter boring, and so I don't plan on consuming you in any medium.
Kitty, we are no longer friends.
Oh no, you guys still do?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, we do.
Yes,
of
from
course
time
we
to
do.
time.
So,
Yeah,
so yeah, that's what's going on with that
Yeah.
One Piece thing.
And I feel like it's a no-win situation because if you do pick a side, then the other side's upset, and it's kind of a hard thing. And I don't think he went into this specifically for that situation. I think he went into this to help people all around the world with
Yeah.
medical needs, food, victims of war. And he pretty much says it in there. But
Yeah. So
I just hope like they don't fire him from peace, please. Don't.
Oh yeah. Let's see if we can kind of dive down into some of these. I think it was taken down. Yeah, I think it's taken
Yeah,
down.
he took it down.
So, but any final thoughts on that? Because I know we don't want to hang too long on that.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject.
Yeah, it's very it's very touchy, very touchy. I am very squeamish to things, so I try my best to like learn some things, but like as soon as I see something that looks wrong, if you know, you know, I turn a blind eye. It's very sad to see like just people getting hurt. I understand. You at the end of the day, we're all humans. To be honest, we are. Red Cross takes funds for themselves, but history don't donate to them. That's why take a look at history of charity. Like, that is true.
I did hear about that a while ago. That's why I've kind of stayed away from that. It is a place that, for the most part, the heart's in the right place. And that's where I was kind of but my buddy's in the military, and he likes the Red Cross for a specific reason of I cannot remember. He just told me. They basically carry word from you from the battlefield to your loved ones or something like that. I need to look into it. But I was like, I can understand why you would like it, but here's my issues with it. But in the overall, the whole sentiment was, hey, I want to help. And yeah, apparently that's not allowed unless it's the right way. That's what we're kind of talking about. And the ridiculousness that there's no neutral ground on any of this. You can't just be neutral. All right. So, do we want to move on to the next one? Because I know this one can just go on and on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's a big one related to the whole manga thing. And I think a lot of people, in my personal opinion, are not understanding the process. Bo and I were talking about this before we went on live. But Bo, if you want to go over what's going on.
Well, this was actually from the Twitter account for the Ancient Magus Bride. They went ahead and announced that they were going to work with the Mantra engine in order to use AI to do a lot of the translating. Their ultimate goal is to translate simultaneously. Sorry, as they drop their Japanese editions, they want to also drop English editions at the same time, and they're also tacking on a Chinese edition as well. So you'll be getting those three languages all at once. So that's interesting. But a lot of the concern is, okay, what about the localizers or what the people that translate here?
I think there's a misunderstanding that they're replacing the localizers.
So there's
Sorry,
that's been no. Go jump in because I need help on some of these.
I think they're thinking that this is going to stop localization and improve the quality of the translations to match as close as possible to the Japanese original intent. But what they don't understand is this is just translating the language. You still have people that step in and edit it and put it together so it makes sense in a more English format. Because the way Japanese language is structured is different from the way English is structured. And you need a human still to do the part that makes it sound well in panels.
It's kind of I think what Robert's saying right there. He's it's funny how people think they'll stop the localization when that's a completely different step. Yeah, completely agree with that. What we've learned from this site, and actually, again, this is a news article that the account actually put on there. So this is from them, and this is actually all in Japanese. This was translated in a few seconds, and yeah, I see no issues, nothing wrong. I think for me, 1 second, let me Kitty. Centaur's manga is translated by AI. I don't have too much of an issue with it as long as there's someone to oversee things to make sure it makes sense. Exactly. I think a lot of us would agree with that. We've been having issues with people kind of putting in their own interpretations of, I guess, the translations. I guess people just say localizing, not really translating.
Yeah.
But yeah, that what I was going back to my point. This whole thing was translated a few seconds. I'm not seeing any issues, and that's fine. But I think when it comes to any kind of manga or anything like that, you would have probably issues with slang. That's where you would actually need somebody there, and that's what they've actually brought up in this article here. Now, close your eyes if you're squeamish. So you're about to see not a butt, but a butt. 1 second. All right.
Okay.
So kind of what they kind of go in here is in the innovative initiative, we have combined our unique machine translation technology with proofreading by professional translators using the Mantra engine, a manga translation cloud service to provide high-speed, high-quality translations that support simultaneous publications in multiple languages. So there you have it. They're not just taking somebody away from here. They're actually going to have somebody there to proofread it and make sure that there's no, let's say, odd sayings. I was telling Carrie earlier, like say in Spanish, we have something that we say, maybe an older saying, Like impending doom, we'd say aguas, 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 which means water. And if I were to say that in English, water, 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 like that wouldn't make sense. You would need some kind of interpretation. So again, that's where the person comes
Right.
in handy right there. And what do y'all think?
There's like a lot of nuance in language, and there's even, like you were just talking about, the cultural thing, because wasn't there that one manga about a specific game that was only played in Japan that was
Yes.
really hard to translate into English because of the nuance with the different types of
Cypher Academy.
play moves.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Cypher Academy, there it is. Cypher?
So you're
Cypher.
still
Cypher
going to need
Academy.
a human at the end of the day. You're still going to need a human.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot what Kitty Cat said in the comments. If you have someone, if you have someone with the AI, you know, trying to fix and tidy it up, it's fine. It's not. People aren't going to lose jobs. Like AI, it's great, but it's not going to like take over everything anytime soon. So you're fine. I've read this up once before long ago, but when it comes to localization, my go-to example of two very different versions, Love Hina, Togepi had some errors and dated, but it flows more. Yeah. Like we said, like the translations of like slang and like cultural stuff will be like that's like things that you are gonna take a while for like AI, or it might not even happen with AI because they just don't get it. You're still gonna need the localizers to be there, the translators. People have jobs for this. So
now,
go ahead, Bo.
If I were to play devil's advocate, I disagree with only a bit of what you're saying, because I do think there's going to be cuts. What this is going to do, in my opinion, again, I need to know a little bit more about this, but outside looking in, I would assume with all this work that's been alleviated, they now have some room to cut labor. That's what I would think. I think if not,
you're going to get rid of the actual translator.
Or not the translator. Maybe multiples, maybe cut hours or personnel. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you're going to limit it to maybe a small group to go back over to make sure the AI did it correctly. And
how many of us have jobs where hours are getting cut? I mean, I would say worked at a couple different places, same thing. And I hear from a lot of my friends that work in other industries, hours are getting cut everywhere. And with stuff like this,
yeah,
it happens. So go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I think I'm on a delay. Like, now I'm not going to. There are issues with translations because there have been two different types that we've talked about before on this channel. There's been the Kamen Rider Kuga where they just used an AI, and I don't think anybody stuck around to edit it, and it came out
I was thinking
terrible.
about that one as well.
And I, with my friend Bianca, who's been on this show, we actually had somebody translate the manga. I think it was called I Think I'm in Love with My Best Friend, where it was about a guy who helped his male friend dress up as a girl. He's practicing makeup on him because he wanted to become a beautician. And they were trying to imply one thing about the character in the English translation, but when we had somebody who translated in Japanese, it was not that at all. And I have that. It's on my channel if you ever want to check that out. Yes, Bianca, we were talking about you. Yeah, we proved that was an example of somebody injecting something in there that wasn't there. So you can't say there aren't issues, but it's just part of the course. You're going to have people who are going to try and do their own thing because they're trusting the fact that other people don't know what you're translating and that you can get away with it.
That's a good segue into localizers. They made him trans. Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah.
And he wasn't.
What was the series again? I'm in love with my best friend, right?
I think I'm in love with my best friend. I think it was called.
Yeah, and
top of my head.
Jamie Marchi, I think that's her name. Localizer. You may have, if you watch anime, you probably have heard her voice. She Ria Scremery is the first thing that comes to mind. That's one of my it's one of my guilty pleasures.
Of course it would be.
Yes. So we have her in this. She's just been blowing up because she's been saying a lot of things that's been kind of upsetting people. The first thing is an old interview came up where they brought up there is a anime that she voiced a character for, and the lines were changed. Did you? What was the name of it?
Dragon Maiden.
Yeah,
Dragon
Dragon
Maiden.
Maid.
Something.
I haven't watched it, but I saw the side by side comparison. Basically, a character showed up to the door, and it was her character saying in Japanese, it was basically, "Hey, I didn't like all the looks I got, so I decided to change." And the way she changed it in English, Jamie, is, "Oh, I was tired of those pesky patriarchal demands and something like
Men or
that."
something, yeah.
And it
Mhm.
was like, really? It's like that was just it was kind of jarring when I heard that. I was like, I don't watch this show, and I really don't want to watch it now. And it came to light that she actually admits to being the one that edited that line and put it in there, which that was actually surprising. I didn't realize a voice actor had that kind of swing. But her she was asked about this at a interview, and she basically said her word for word was, "Hey, I have a vagina, deal with it." And that was her response to her changing the line. Like, that's not addressing anything. That's more of like, oh, if you disagree with it, you hate women, which is we all know that defense we're seeing a lot of. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help anybody. All it is kind of get you out of the fryer. And what do y'all think?
Now Bianca's saying that's not correct. I'm trying to get her to clarify.
Oh, what did she say? Oh, put it
She
up. I
said
didn't see.
no, she had nothing to do with it. Oh,
Okay, so but that's what she's admitting. She's admitting multiple times. So she on video and also in her post, she's admitting it. I had those pulled up. I should have just kept them up. So if she's
yeah.
not, she wants responsibility for it. So maybe she just wants to be in the light. Anthony, you said she was out of the industry. Is that, you think that might be true? Because I could swear I heard her on some new things.
I no, I don't, I wouldn't know. I don't really keep up with the nitty gritty with voice actors. Even
No, I
though
thought I told you that. I thought I heard that.
Mm.
Yeah,
I thought it was
yeah.
me. Give me
But
1 second. I think I have an article.
yeah, what? All right.
The
And
article
Bianca
where
says she always said it was guys who would add it in there,
And
and
she would get
she
blamed for
would
it.
get
Okay,
blamed
that
for
makes
it.
sense. Yeah,
I'm putting
yeah,
in a private. Oh,
That tweet still exists.
yeah, because I know like
Okay.
when people are in the booth, they can suggest things and
Uh-huh.
just see if it sticks. People change stuff all the time in scripting. Like you're
Yeah.
not gonna get the same line. If that wasn't the case, or if that was the case that you want the exact same thing, ghost stories would be boring in dub, like how it is in sub. So
Oh,
yeah,
Ghost Stories
so
is outrageous.
so
It's
so,
funny.
so like things will change. Like hey, it's gonna happen. It might not be good. It's
yeah.
hit or miss. So
Yeah.
just choose how you want to interpret that. A lot of people like the I think it's Skate the Infinity.
Mhm.
That dub is really
Mhm.
like a lot of people love that dub, even though the translations sometimes is like out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Haikyuu is another one of those where it's like the translation gets jumbled sometimes, but a lot of people like it for it. So hey, things are gonna be hit or miss. So you got to just take the grain when you can. So
Yeah. And I think Cat's got a good point on
Kitty
there.
Cat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like I
care if
don't
she did or
care.
didn't. It's up to the production company. At the end of the day, they have final say. Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
And it's not about dragging her. It's just that's the kind of things that we're seeing now. We got people, whether she did or didn't, somebody's going in there and changing the lines, which kind of brings us back to AI.
Right.
And is it okay to do it? It's like, well, hell, the lines are
A-
being changed
And
anyway.
I think it's more about recent videos because didn't she like go after Asmongold or something? And
He responded to the whole thing, and she didn't like it, and she wanted to prove that she didn't care about the whole thing, so she made a video saying that she didn't care, and that, I don't know, to me it makes it sound like she does care. But again, I'm not trying to drag her, but that
right.
is, yeah, I didn't like that whole thing. Maybe she's just trying to get uh more responses and all
This
that,
is
but yeah,
this
attention.
is why, and again, this is something I've talked about in other areas, not just anime and manga, but I've talked about this with Hollywood and comic books. But this is when I think when people are making accusations about a talent or seeing things, I think the best thing to do is the talent needs to let the studio handle it and address it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because things get blown out of proportion. It gets into this whole, it causes all this outrage. It causes all this like misinterpretation, maybe, depending on what it is and what they're saying. You've got people who like outrage bait. They're going to like clip things and then they're going to put it out there. And that's why I feel like, well, don't say anything. Just let the studio who organized the project, who funded the project, who put the project out, let them handle it. But nobody wants, like, this is the problem. It's like, I understand like an actor or talent wanting to like get out there and get ahead of it and try to defend themselves, but sometimes I think it just makes it worse.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about dating. I mean, I think this is a good time to kind of switch to the next thing. I mean, how many of us have heard of this little story right here? It just dropped on was it Netflix?
Yep, Netflix.
Yeah, episode
Netflix.
1 is
I haven't
out.
watched it yet.
Really enjoyed it. Watched it with my kids. Faithful to the manga so far, with a little bit added into it. There you go. And it's called Delicious in Dungeon. So it's a really great manga. I've talked about it plenty of times. Basically, if you're a foodie and you like Dungeons and Dragons, this is for you. How this party basically kills a lot of monsters and then chops them up into gourmet food. I like it, and something happened. Somebody was trying to promote it and took one of the characters, this elf character right here. Sorry,
a female,
very timid, very timid, and very funny too. Her responses are up there with, I mean, maybe not up there with Anya, but close to it. And well, somebody decided to post her like this. So innocent enough, right? It's like, oh, it's an elf.
Yeah, we don't know.
Floor.
Did she get knocked down? She could have been knocked
what's
down by
this?
something. Or...
Is that a shin?
One?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Canceled. So we actually have and so let's give some credit to Average Capitalist, I guess. It's like, bro, she's literally just laying down, but he or she collected a bunch of interesting responses to that. So that is not my girl failure daughter. Her ass does not need to pose. So does not pose for fan service. I was like, that's not fan service. We've seen fan service. That is nowhere near it. Here's another one.
Especially in anime, this is not like even.
Yeah. Especially these days, like, there's plenty to go around. It's going to be so forced if they make her sexy. She's not supposed to be sexy at all, which I agree. She's cringe fail, and we love her for that. But again, I agree with most of that. But again, she is not doing anything fan servicey. God, take all of the triggers, over sexualizations of female characters, and give it to Senshi, which is the cook on here, and which is a man. So all the sexuality, all the sexiness can go to the men. I'm tired of this.
So now it's okay to sexualize the guy.
Yeah, it's like, I'm okay with doing both. Why can't we just have it that?
So let's just put the picture back up. Let's put the picture back up. Yeah. Okay, chat. Do you think she's being over sexualized in this? Go ahead and post a comment. Let me know. Do you
is
think
she being a bad girl?
Is this promoting male gaze, whatever you want to call it? Like, do you think this is inappropriate?
Not in the least. It's like, I don't know what else to say about this. There's nothing wrong with this. She's fully clothed. Yes, like, it's like, wait a minute. She has all her clothes. Why is fan service in the same sentence?
And her breasts are not emphasized.
Oh yeah, that too. How did I miss that? It's like, how about those folks on Twitter get offline and touch some grass? That's what I think.
At the end of the day, touch grass.
Yes.
Go out and meet some real people.
Have real conversations.
Dumb. Ignore trolls.
Yes.
Mute and block, mute or block. That's all I'm gonna
Yes.
say.
He's referring to me.
I did that on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They just
I
don't
have
like beautiful women.
I guess. Yeah. I've seen that pose done so many times and done actually over sexualized. So like I see it, I'm like, okay, I get the pose, but she's fully clothed. It's fully clothed. I would get it if there was like something like to point at, but when you look at the image, she's just laying on the ground, fully clothed. Like Carrie said, her breasts aren't as robust, so it's not very protruding and like obvious.
Yeah. Nor are they
But
emphasized. She's not like
Yeah.
another emphasize,
pushing him
they're
out or
not.
anything.
Yeah,
Like,
no. She's in a different outfit, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? If it was a different character, maybe. Who knows?
yeah, she won't
But
be.
no, it's that's a instance where it's like, okay, calm down. I know Trigger has like a very they have like a track record for overly sexualizing things, but like I
Yeah.
was just like, I'm like, I can see it, but like you are very much reaching at that point when
Mhm.
it comes to that.
Oh, let's see. What was the other ones? She would never lie on the dungeon floor. True. I don't care if I'm being annoying. It's like this is a normal
Maybe you just
pose.
had a
There's
fight
nothing.
and she's tired.
Yeah. It's like she's quoting, this is a normal pose. There's nothing sexual about it. If they put Laius, Chilchak, or Senshi in this pose, it would look just as ridiculous. What? They no. It doesn't look sexualized. Touch grass.
Yeah.
Yes. Y'all don't understand. Like it trigger. I wasn't happy when I heard they got the anime because they sexualize every female character under their IP. Like I am concerned. Like wow,
Now, have you
that's
watched
wild.
anybody watch the anime?
No, I was gonna watch it
Chat.
after this.
Just let me know. Did they over sexualize her? Did they change the character from the manga? Let
No,
us know if
they
you've
have.
watched it already.
I watched it. I've read it. I own it. I can tell you now, they did not. I would say I enjoyed her responses. Because, again, if you're wanting Anya faces and everything, you're gonna get them from her. She's comic relief. I love that character. Senji, I love more, but yeah.
Yeah. The main consensus
Yeah.
I get from Delicious Dungeon is that it is a fantasy cooking show.
Yes.
So I hear that and I go, damn, I really want to see some fan service. Like, no, I don't. You're not going into this for fan service. So
I did.
I don't know. Okay, Bo.
No,
I was
kidding.
trying to defend it, but you know,
No, go for
That's
it.
Bo for you. Bo just trolling.
But says, you know what? Screw it.
Sorry.
Let me interject. But yeah, yeah, no, like it's something you're not looking for the series at all. Like you listen to the title "Delicious Dungeon," you're just thinking like food.
Yeah.
I don't think titties and ass. Like it's not my thing. When looking at that, you go watch High School DxD. Go watch
Also, good
Keijo or
recommendation.
something.
Yeah.
Go watch one of those if you're looking for that. Yes, it is a twice now.
Let's make it 4.
No, double it and pass it to the next person. Yeah.
This is Uno.
But yeah, it's very much reaching, very reaching, clutching at straws at this point with that image.
So it's the beginning of the year, and we just had so much outrage. People have been sitting on this all through Christmas. It's like I'm just gonna let this out right now.
They did
January
not leave
1st.
their
Let's
house
go.
for vacation. They did not leave their house for vacation. That's the problem. And speaking of like not understanding or misinterpreting stuff, Bo, you have another interesting topic, something that seems to be like a yearly, maybe every quarterly
Yes,
controversy.
reset the clock.
Once again,
we are back at Berserk. Berserk was again in the headlines. People are outraged on how people could love this torture prawn. Yeah. So apparently, this person had a good. I could not take.
And
this
before we get into that, just to give people background who might not know, every so often somebody sees a panel or page from Berserk, doesn't know the story, posts it on there, and just makes a big thing about it because they're making assumptions about what they see in there. Bo's gonna put it up on.
I mean, no. I'm not like from Berserk. I'll show you what I'll show you what is actually showable on page 1. None of it. It's actually it's really good, but you can't watch. If people will open Berserk, they will look at that first page and think they have it figured out. It's like, nope, not for me. Now, I will agree with Kitty Cat. It is edgy and it can get really dark. I have to take breaks because this thing has some nightmare fuel in there and that will probably keep me up at night. There's a tree if you've read it already, there's some tree scenes that really don't sit well with me. They're freaky, but the art is gorgeous. The story is very well told. The characters are very well developed as well. You are interested and you are scared for everybody in the story. It's good. I love it. And then you got these
It's a
people
dark
reducing it.
fantasy.
Yes. And you got people reducing it to this. It's torture porn. See this person and again, I should have blotted the I don't know how I can blot their names out, but anyways, don't go talking to these people. They're just
Yeah, please don't harass anybody that.
Yeah, that's not what we're here for. We're here just to laugh at the whole thing. And it's so funny because the torture prawn in question is against women. If it was men getting R worded in Berserk, trust me, a lot of people would not read it. Now, if you've read Berserk, you would know that this person doesn't know what they're talking about because there's stuff that happens to several people in here, and they're not women. Yeah, so that's not factual at all. What was the other thing? I posted it on here and I was like, what's your guess? Did they read it?
It's not a happy story. It's about survival in a very dark world, and especially a character who is put through stuff that you don't know how he's alive. Okay, let's just be honest. The man is just like a lot of people would be in therapy, if not a mental hospital, for what he goes through.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just a one-sided thing. It's not just female characters experiencing this. Male characters are experiencing all this horror.
If I remember,
are experiencing it.
If I remember correctly, he gets R-worded in the first 3 volumes as a child.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Yes.
Spoilers.
Yes.
Yes.
Spoilers.
And that's actually, if you want to kind of look at this is a bro never read the series and never will, thank God. Like, wow. So yeah, they have another tourist, and they later on, I don't have their later response, but they later went on to say, somebody corrected them, was like, hey, Guts gets R worded in the series, and she goes, good, it should happen to a lot more to the guys. I'm like, what kind of stance is that? It's like, I don't see that you're paying for Twitter, so I know you're not doing it for monetization. What are you doing this for?
Attention.
I think that's all it
because
is.
I can't take people serious. If you read something, you can't sit there and be judgmental of it. If it's not for you, that's fine. If it's something you see, it's too dark, fine. But you can't make an assumption on this just because somebody told you about a scene or you've seen a panel. That you can interpret it many ways. I mean,
and then I had my own little bout with somebody.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
So follow me on Twitter to kind of look at that one. But basically, it started off like this. There is a scene where one character imagines himself turning into a wolf and tearing a woman apart, basically. And one person.
We're losing you.
Oh, you're breaking up.
You're breaking up. So pretty much what are you like?
There you go. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, this person said, sexualized depictions of women getting R-word is not art. And what I really love here is the community notes: disliking certain artwork does not make them not art. But that's how this whole thing.
If you've ever been in an art museum, there's some stuff in there that you think this is dark.
History is full of famous dark paintings and dark artists. Dark artists such as Goya and Bosch provided terrifying works in their time.
Monkus.
Yes, and can I and say Spy X Family is greater than Berserk now? Socially acceptable or question mark? That
I think it's personal taste
on that one.
They're two different series.
Yes,
It's two different genres. I mean,
They're
you got
two.
shonen and seinen.
They're the opposites.
And if you want to rank them, no, you're in the wrong area.
No, she's in the right.
Well, okay, I know Marg was supposed to be here, but you don't need to take your spot.
She told me to say that.
Oh God. But yeah, this person really had nothing to say when I jumped in. I called them a tourist, and they just tried to rag on me that it didn't work, and they realized that they really couldn't phase me, so they moved on. But I just thought this was just completely hilarious. It's like you can't compare those two, and everyone wants to put their series ahead of Berserk. It's like, I love this series, so it's better than. Oh yes, and mediocre is misspelled.
I think it's not their. I don't think English is their first language, Bianca.
Yeah, they clearly don't read. They read funny pages and stuff like that. Not to say anything bad about Spy Family, but I like it.
I think people look for the next big thing to kind of like, they look for something that'll get them a lot of clicks and a lot of outrage. So they like, see, I'm fighting against blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you're not reading the story. I mean, people read the story, you're going to make you look like an idiot, was comment making.
I think it's... Yeah, go ahead.
Nobody is safe. Nobody is safe in this story. Everybody's going through hell. It's the dark fantasy. I mean, you've got plenty of people wrote dark fantasy. I mean, come on, you just had Games of Thrones. You've got the House of Dragons.
Yeah.
You've got, like, if you go to the old Conan books from Robert E. Howard and all, I mean, dark fantasy is not a new thing. It's been around, and it's got its audience. Yeah. That doesn't mean the audience is deranged and trying to run out there and be like Conan. And it's, you know, if people can separate what's going on in the story with reality.
It's like the whole big three situation. I think this stuff just keeps getting brought up because they want to be a part of the installment or the realizing of the newest big three or the newest greatest of them all. They want to be like, I was there. I was the one that was actually reading it and doing this, but they've already missed out on Berserk, Naruto, One Piece, and what's the other one? Bleach? I don't recognize it.
Yeah.
And they don't even realize how long this has been around. It's not like something that just came out recently either. There was a time there was a lot of dark manga. I remember in like the 90s and the early 2000s, you've had like Hellsing and you know, Vampire Hunter D. It's like a new thing for manga and anime.
Yep, and Kitty Cats there.
Yes, Nerdygirlcreates got it. These people just trying to single their moral superiority. Well, let's not really do much but whining about stupid stuff. Yeah, it's just kind of like, who's the new guy? It's Anthony. Hi, say hi, Bianca. But it's just ridiculous. Like if it's not for you, to just don't read it. Okay, you tell me that all the time when something. Just don't read it. I mean, it's made for an older audience who are mature enough to handle this stuff. That's got censors on it. Tells you what the age range is. It's under a certain genre that's made for older people. It's not like, oh, we're gonna put it in the shonen section for the kids.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
I can't for the days. I can't wait for the day these people go after JoJo, because Dark Sage is gonna be all over them.
I've been going over it, and I've been dogging JoJo's for like, now. Yeah. I think he's like rolls his eyes now. I'm like, no.
Don't tell them about the dog scene in the first book. I mean, they're gonna go nuts. Okay.
Yeah. So, I know we decided we were kind of going back and forth on a top 5, and it's beginning of the year. We probably should just do kind of our favorites for last. So. Anthony, is that what your theme is?
I thought I was doing just like what I dropped in 2023.
I thought we were doing what we dropped. I thought we were doing what we dropped.
Yeah,
I can do that too.
Okay.
I can do that too. So we'll switch. I'll go last. So switch me on that.
Okay.
Never. So let's start with Anthony.
Okay. So this is very scarce. I don't know if I'll have a 5 because I'm one of those people that I don't like the term dropped. I like to say on hold because I like going back to things. Maybe I'm not in the right mood at the time
Yeah.
for a series. That'll be very apparent when I start naming some series. But first off, we'll go with the this is going to be a category,
Hey,
but I'll
Robert.
like specifically say it. Specific series is The Boxer by I think JH, I believe.
Oh,
But manhwa in an entirety, I like basically dropped last year because I realized these volumes are very expensive, and there's a lot of material that we are way behind on. So it's better to get on webtoons, and yeah. So like I believe The Boxer was like the first manhwa either that or a business proposal was the first one that I purchased. And so I was like, all right, great. I read The Boxer or the first volume. I think I might have read the second volume as well.
yeah.
And I was like, this is really good. Like I wonder that then like eventually as a collector and as someone who like reads manga, you wonder, is the series completed and how long is the series? Because it's a money thing because these series like you gotta pay if you want them physically. So I
Mhm.
looked at how many chapters The Boxer has, and the moment I saw that, I put two and two together and I said this series will probably never finish publication by the time I am alive because it's a very long series. Don't get me wrong, it's a really good series, but I would much rather read it online or find it on sale. So at that moment, I was just like, all right, let me just hold off on this because it's not gonna be moving the needle for me anytime soon. I did enjoy what I liked about it, but that money problem is always a thing every now and then. So manhwa was like manhwa was something I really do want to get into in the new year 2024. I want to read a bunch of manhwa, but last year I was like, all right, let me just put a hold on to this.
I think with manhwa, it's better to stick with the webtoon apps and
Yeah.
all because there are so many chapters to stuff. And it's like to keep collecting the books, it feels like it's never going to end. And if you're lucky, if they continue producing the books.
Mm-hmm.
Bo, do you want me to go next or?
I can go next. So
Okay.
in my time off too, I've kind of dove into a new hobby. I'm into One Piece card games.
He is very into One Piece card games.
Yes,
Very. He
yes.
started a whole chat and everything. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I got all that stuff over
Oh
there.
god.
And yeah, it's
How much are you into it already?
uh, I'm into it a lot.
He's in too deep.
I'm in too deep, but absolutely love it. So I had to sell some manga. So shame on me. I know. I made fun
I
of people
bet.
for doing it, but yeah, I did it myself. Yeah, I think we all had to do that. But some of the ones I dropped, the first ones I dropped, are you winning, son?
That's me at
No.
the end of every day when he texts on that chat. Are you winning? Yes, the Horizon is actually something that I'm interested in. I need to get the final volume. It's only 3 volumes long, and I've heard really good things about it. But that'll be like the
Ooh.
first one that I pick up because I've heard really good things, and it's a very short one. And the covers look really mysterious but really nice.
Is that the blue or the dark blue kind of cover?
I have it here. Hold on.
I think
Like
Dark
the first
Sage
one
did
was
a
like black,
review on that.
Yeah, it's
and
like a
then
black, and the second one's
Yeah.
yellow, which I got for like $9,
Yellow.
which was great. And I need
Nice.
to find the last one for cheap. But yeah, this is the first one.
Yeah, that's what
I
I was
have the first one. I have to pick up the second one.
Yeah.
So the first one I sold, no longer allowed in another world. That's an isekai about this suicidal writer. I don't know. It's supposed to be like where he's funny because he just wants to die and he's always trying to off himself in every single chapter. And a lot of it's written to where I get it's supposed to be hokey and funny, but it's like okay, it just doesn't make any sense though. It's that for me. I hated every single chapter. It's like it was a struggle to read for me. So I automatically dropped it. No longer allowed in another world is no longer allowed in my house. So.
Oh wow! And I know you were dying to say this.
Giant.
You're
Like,
like, ha 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 ha! Dropped it. Well, I have dropped them too. For not just financial reasons, but because I kind of lost interest. And this first one, I know a lot of people are going to be like, but why? But I can explain. And mine would be Chainsaw Man, because I feel like it should have ended after after the
Part one.
I think it's 11. Yeah, part
Yeah.
1. It should have ended after part 1.
Oh, I should have put
Because
that on my list. I did drop that as well.
It dragged.
doesn't.
It dragged. And then everybody's like, oh, but it gets better after that. But by then, I was just not interested in getting back into it. I was like, it should have ended like where it was, because I think it left off on a good note that he's finally going to get to do what he always wanted to do and go to school and everything. But then you go into this whole other arc where you're focusing on a completely different character, and he, for most of it, is just maybe randomly showed up like 5 chapters in, I think it was. And I was kind of like, and it was just boring. I'm like, can we get back to the main hero story? It's yeah,
Carrie,
I dropped it.
Carrie, I don't know what you're talking about because there were no volumes after volume 11. To my knowledge,
Chapters,
it's
excuse
been.
me.
No.
I don't like I keep forgetting, like, but the volumes are starting to come out now.
Yeah.
No, they are. I'm being silly.
I know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The reintroduction of Denji was probably one of the worst reintroductions. It was smart. It was smart and funny for what it was, but
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, it was like, okay, cool. And like I think I stopped after like the aquarium. I think they were in the aquarium or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where I was really
I
losing it.
stopped. And I was like, all right, either I was like, either she is gonna die or he is gonna die. I'm gonna find out about it online, and then I'll read again. But I've heard it. I've heard it does get better. I've heard like right now it's like doing all right for what it is.
Okay.
It's doing better for what it started off as. But I have no interest at the moment to get back to it. I'm gonna wait a while, honestly. Probably I have like the original printings of the volumes, but I do want to get the box set. So I want to try getting the box set, and then I think from there I'll like reread it again, and then go back to part 2. So yeah, but also in my opinion, Chainsaw Man suffered what Tokyo Revengers suffered. Is that those are series that are way better binges than weekly reads. If you read if you read something that's really good and very high octane, high paced the entire time, binging it, it's amazing. It's one of the best experiences you can have it. As soon as you've caught up and you have to wait weekly for just a couple pages of a couple punches being thrown, you're gonna instantly sour on a series. So with those, I think it's way better if you go the binge model with them and wait a while. That's why a lot of people like didn't know about Chainsaw Man until like it was about to finish, and when it was that time, everyone loved it because they had so much content to catch up on, and then they thought like, oh, I've caught up to about what's about to be the end, but they didn't know it was part 1, and so that's why they enjoyed it. If in my opinion, if like it didn't stop and continued like the part 2 weekly as it was supposed to, then like a lot of people probably would have mellowed out on the series because it wasn't about to be finished.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, I'm waiting for Fujimoto's legendary like breakneck speed pacing. I mean, that final arc in part 1, I mean,
it's really good because it's fast. It's like a couple, like in the real time of the story, it's like a couple of hours, I think that whole thing goes down, and like, or maybe even a day. But like that's what he's really known for. He's known for fast pace, like off the wall stuff. When he gets grounded, like it'll be good. But like he's widely known for being someone who like I forget the name of the mangaka for Black Clover. They very much like writing fast paced stuff because that's what a lot of people do enjoy. So when you slow it down or you catch up, it's gonna be rougher.
I agree with that. And I feel like a lot of these new chapters is like a firecracker that never went off. It was like you're excited. Okay, it's a lot of build up. That's it. And some of the things that have Denji saying, I'm like, what the
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be advancing. That's my other problem. He's now in school and he's now interacting with people. He doesn't seem to be either like advancing, maturing, or like developing beyond what he was first introduced.
Black Clover got hate?
Still that. yeah, he still seems to be that same naive idiot from the first chapter.
Oh, kitty, no, put away the claws.
Oh, kitty, kitty, kitty.
The claw was always at 8. Oh, all right. Who's next?
It would be Anthony.
That'd be me again. We actually talked about this series earlier. The next two will be digital series, which you can
Okay.
find on the Shonen Jump app if you so happen to want to read them. My number 4 is Cypher Academy. Pretty much what everyone had a problem with was, yeah, that's what got me. Going into Cypher Academy, by the way, it's still going on weekly, and things like Tenmaku Cinema are axed, which is
Really?
crazy. Yes, apparently it's gotten better though. So yeah, the whole big thing with the hype surrounding it at first, before the controversy, was that it's the creator of the Monogatari series, or like one of the creators of the Monogatari series.
Yeah.
So like to have such a well-known mangaka just be on Weekly Shonen Jump was like, all right, we're gonna ride with him, which is a reason why I feel like this thing is still going on, because the first like how many chapters did I read? I read like around 20. I'll look it up right now. I read a total of wow, I lost it. Hold on. I read 21 chapters. The first I believe the first 20 chapters. If you don't know, a thing in Japan with the magazines is that if your series is doing really good, they award you with a color page at the beginning or middle of the next week of the magazine. Usually when new series are established and like published, it takes them up to chapter 14 to get their first color page. There are some exceptions with holidays. They try to do special things for like group pages, and then like the timing of the manga might be, it might coincide to where like, hey, like this falls on a specific date which we can't do a color page, so they move it on. The most famous, currently the most like well-known manga, even though it is a meme, is Kagurabachi. I believe that got its first color page. Yeah, I believe that got its first color page either on 14, which is like normal, or it got it on 7 or 8, which is like very early. But that's because I feel like, hey, that's the power of the internet. You can blow up something really good to the point where people will like say awesome, cool, and like read it. So I feel like that's one of the reasons why a lot of people love that series. I read with Bo the Ichinose Family's
That's the one,
Deadly
right?
Sin. No, Kagurabachi, the meme,
Okay.
the dude with the sword.
Oh,
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, that got his color page pretty early, and I kind of expected that because of the whole meme. Ichinose's Family Secret, we read that for a video on Bo's channel.
yeah.
I believe chapter 10 was the first color page, and then like I told him specifically, the color page is like, it means something, because that's when stuff going crazy. This one didn't receive a color page until chapter 20, and so I was like, usually when a lot of people back then was like, oh, as soon as like you pass chapter 14 and we don't see a color page, that's sort of a sign to let us know like, oh, this is about to get axed very soon. And then it finally got it on 20, which a lot of people thought like, oh, this is where it's going to end, but it got its color page, and it's been going on since. The translation obviously was a big issue with it, but it's very boring in the beginning. I think like I stopped where it stopped getting boring, and like from now it's been like really good. But it's very word heavy, and for something to be on the Shonen Jump magazine, which is for young boys, I don't think they want to read the entire time. So it just wasn't something that I was very much into. Like just sitting there, I believe like it would take me like half an hour to finish a chapter, and usually with a Shonen Jump series, like it'll take me like 5 minutes to just finish something. But with that, it was just like you're sitting there and you're sitting there for a while, and I was like, the art's great, but the art's not carrying it, because the story is like, eh. So I ended up dropping it after 20 chapters. I might go back to it, see if it's done any better. But yeah, no, it was not that great.
And those were all digitals, right?
Yeah, that's all digital. I believe that got announced to be a digital exclusive, which yeah. The covers are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful art. If you've seen the Monogatari covers, the Monogatari art, you would love it. But it's not that great from what I stopped.
Bianca, are you having problems? I'm worried. He's been on since the stream started.
Oh no.
Bianca, did the cat hit you?
Hard.
Oh,
His profile is.
adorable. Oh,
Oh.
Yes, thank you.
No.
all right, Bo, what do
So
you have?
Demon Slayer. I dropped Demon Slayer. I got a good, yeah. I
Me
sold
too.
it for about
Good job.
$125, I think it was, for the whole box set.
If
I
you
will
have
say it's the
box sets, that's a
first
lot.
manga that I read all the way through. I would say I liked it, but I didn't love it. There was a lot of plot holes. No on the group chat, but I wish the cat would hit me. No, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, Demon Slayer. A lot of plot holes, and I love the anime a lot more, but there's still plot holes in it that are pretty glaring. Especially the entertainment arc was annoying on that last fight.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things that happen. There's a lot of plot armor. If you know, and people being able to do things out of nowhere and for no reason at all, just cause it's anime. That's the only thing. Though what saved that series? I mean, people have been saying all along. It's like the anime saved that series. It looks great. It's got fantastic music. Voice acting is great as well. It is great to sit down and enjoy. For reading it, however, the art is subpar. The story is not that great overall. Again, I like it. I don't love it. So it was an easy sell.
Yeah, I dropped that one too,
Mm.
but I didn't put it on the list this time. But I have another one. This one I think I mentioned on one of our streams before last year. Prof Otaku had celebrated me dropping it, and that would be Komi Can't Communicate, because
Oh.
it, it was good in the beginning, but then I felt like the mangaka didn't want it to end and has
Mhm,
like kind of dragged out the progression. I don't think it needs to be 20 plus volumes. It could have ended in
mhm.
the teens. It's like we're doing some of the same stuff over and over, and I was just getting bored with it. And I'm like, I can't. So I had sold it, and I'm not looking to go back to it. I was just like, I can't. I tried watching the anime, but I don't know. It's just like I can't. I just you gotta move forward more. Yeah, I saw Bianca.
Yeah, Bianca's had a good comment.
You'd be
Uh,
surprised, Bianca. You'd be
so
really
how
surprised.
how long did she not communicate for? It's like, yes, I mean,
Yeah.
your feelings for this is exactly how I feel about Rent a Girlfriend. It could have ended in the teens if it were just shortened to about that much. I think it'd actually be a pretty decent series, but they want to keep dragging that thing on and on.
Yeah, it was. It's just kind of like, okay, we're up to like what, 24 now. Are we there yet? Can we end
Mhm.
this now?
That's a good video topic. Are we there yet?
I know, like, come on now. Let's finish this. All right, Anthony, what do you have up next?
All right. Like I mentioned before, it's gonna be a digital only. It's pronounced Jiangxi X. It's like a Chinese battle shonen series on the
Okay.
Okay.
Shonen Jump app. It's a part of like the Shonen Plus line, so like where you
Yeah.
would find Spy Family, Kaiju 8,
Yeah.
those series that's on there. Essentially, like it's very heavy with the Chinese references, and like all the lore and stuff is like Chinese based. So like a bunch of just words just mumbled together. And at the beginning, it was like very long. Like chapters
Mhm.
would be like 80 pages long for no reason. Like the first like 7 chapters are like 80 plus pages. And so I was like, nothing's really happening. And like
Yeah.
the art doesn't look that great. It's apparently still going on. So maybe it's gotten
Somebody
better.
likes it.
Yeah, so somebody likes it, but yeah, no, it was when it comes to like the things I read in 2023, especially like on the Shonen Jump app, that like Miles Ahead is the worst thing I read. Like it's for somebody, but it ain't for me. And if it's for you, like cool,
Mhm.
I guess. But yeah, no, it's
Like,
not much to say there.
yeah, like Bakuman. You read that, you'll know it's very word heavy, and it can be long. That's the only thing I don't like, but I also like it for that reason. There's a lot of content on there. It's
Yes.
very well developed story, and it's
Yeah.
very interesting. But it's a lot to take on at once.
Yeah, but the thing with Bakuman is that you know that going into it, like it's
Mhm.
Yes.
about making a manga. Words are gonna
Mhm.
be a thing. Like it's
Yep.
gonna be like you're gonna get a bunch of texts and everything. With this,
Mhm.
it's a battle shonen. So the fact that I'm stumbling on attacks and names of people, I'm like, oh wait, who's that again? Is like very concerning. With Bakuman, I get it. When I get to it, I'm sure
Yeah.
I will have the same complaints of like, oh, I'm just reading it. But that's the point of series like that. You are
Mhm.
there to read the story. It's very story based. If First of the North Star wasn't just Kirishiro beating up people and him just giving monologues about why he's homeless, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure a lot of people wouldn't have liked it. But yeah, that's not what they came for, and that was something I
Mhm.
didn't come for with Giganchi X and with the track record of the Jump Plus titles at that time.
Uh,
I think like every Jump Plus title that was on like the streaming service was like doing amazing, like Spy Family, Kaiju number 8, what's the other one? Dandadan,
it just dropped.
which I honestly could say I could have put it on this list because I didn't get it at first. It's all right. It's all right. The first arc is not good. I will wholeheartedly say the first arc is not that great. It's very much a shock humor. Like, oh my god, they're naked. Oh my god, they want to have sex with these people, with these humans. It's weird. Cool, I get it. I've seen Chainsaw Man, and it's been weirder before, so I get it. The second arc, I will say, was really good. The ballerina was very fun, but also the fact that that series, either I have to get it physically, or if I want to read it digitally, I have to go on my laptop. It's only website only, which ruined
Yeah.
it for me because it could have been on the app, which I would have been
Mhm.
fine. And then I would have picked it up. But yeah, no, like the hurdles to read it is like, hey, I'm gonna have to wait. So
Yeah.
but I will pick that up soon because I remember liking it a lot towards like the end, but the beginning for me was not that great. It was very much like the hype of the week at that point. And I was like, let me try
Mhm.
it out, but I was like, I don't get it. It's whatever, but I'll keep going.
Oh,
And then
kitty
the ballerina arc was
cat.
fun.
Bad kitty.
Kitty cat.
What did Kitty say?
She's with
I'm with you. Yes, the first arc is like, hey, if you
Where's my
want
water bottle?
if you want crazy stuff, go read JoJo's. Go read Chainsaw Man. It's done. That is done there. But later on, like it does get fun. I
Yeah.
did say before, the ballerina arc is really good. Like that whole like backstory with the girl, really cool. So yeah, there is potential there. But I was reading a bunch of other series at that time, so I was like, I need to drop one, and this one's harder to get at the moment because at that time it wasn't being printed, if I remember correctly. Like it was something that got printed like towards the second end of the year, and I was reading it as the chapters were coming out, and I was like, I can hold off, and I'm gonna wait for like the chapters to accumulate. And so now I'm pretty sure I would read it and be okay with it.
Mhm.
But at that moment, I was like, it's not for me at the time.
All right. So if we're
All right,
going
Bob.
into mine, Mike had some flack with this one. JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen, dropped. Nope. You all right?
Where's that button? Where's that button? Get out of here.
I absolutely loved the Shibuya arc. I'm not going to give any spoilers away. I just absolutely loved it. I think it was the best thing I've read in a while. And the volume after, that series just crashed. I guarantee you, I have to put something on the line because I know AI translated this thing because I did not understand what the hell they were saying for a full volume on the volume after Shibuya arc. After you get, if you're reading it, read past it. I didn't understand what the hell was going on, and I kept skipping pages to see if I could get it later on. No, I didn't understand what they were doing. This is where I think it might actually get redeemed on the anime. Maybe the anime will clear it up and make it more like, oh, I look back at it, oh, I'm stupid. But yeah, I did not like it. And what I did understand, I was like, I don't get this. Why are we here? We were just like at the peak of manga, and then we're here.
I have to agree with you. That whole colon game thing was like So now we're playing a game, but Gojo's stuck in a.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were at a peak story. Why did
Yeah.
you just drop it off to go to this? Like it feels like
And then so
you know how
we're going
Naruto.
home with what's her name, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, you remember when Naruto would just automatically in the middle of a like tense fight, it'll go into a side story. Like
The war.
yes, constantly
I'm literally watching the war arc with my girlfriend because like
infuriating.
I'm like, hey, like you need to finish this, and she's like, yeah, but like it just cuts. I'm like, I will get you through this because I know that was the issue everyone had, but you are lucky because it's already finished. But yeah, I totally get you. But the Culling Games is really good. I'm with you. It is a case where the anime does help you a lot
Mhm.
because I was with a lot of people when they were like, "Oh, the beginning is very wordy." Yes, it is. The anime cleans it up.
Yeah.
I will say, like watching the anime after I read, I think the first like 3 volumes because like I was in on it early. I was like, "Oh, this kind of clears it up and makes it better for me," because it was very wordy. The beginning or season 1 is very wordy, but I'm pretty sure if you get, I forget where that volume after the Shibuya end arcs, but I'm pretty sure if you read the next volume, you'd be like, holy crap, because the Culling Game is really fun, and it was basically the setup for that. Like, if you watch Shibuya arc, the end of season 2, they set it up because the basically after the Shibuya arc, they're like, hey, we have to meet this person, we have to get to this person. That's basically what happens after season 3. You'll meet a person.
You'll see it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's very word heavy. I do agree. But as soon as like they meet the person and they tell you the rules, it's like, all right, cool. Like you need to read the rules because it's the rules. And then immediately from there, it's like breakneck speed. As soon as Shibuya ended in the anime, I was like, all right, I can finally go back to reading this. So I'm gonna read it from where I left off. And the Culling Games are really fun. It's very much Gege really loves to like explain stuff. So it will be lost because you do have to read a lot. And like I said, like if you're here for Battle Shonen, you don't want to read a lot. So the anime does help with that. But if you do get through it, you get amazing action. If you know, Maki is way better than Itachi. If you know, yes, that's all I say. If you're waiting for season 3, you're gonna be in for a really fun treat, in which is the best slaughtering I've ever seen in all of anime or manga. But yeah, Shippuden more wordy than the original. They're equally as wordy, but Shippuden is where
I
Periot
think
was
you
like
have moments.
Yeah.
more moments. Just about, I believe.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, but if it's
But
wordy,
it
like
wasn't
yeah,
like Shippuden longer series. Yeah.
Shippuden's a longer series. Yeah, by far.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
I
so-
think the original manga is like 26 volumes, and then from there, so like 27 to like 75, 50, like 25 plus, like double the amount for Shippuden. So there's a lot more with Shippuden. And so yeah, I wish someone if someone with video editing and stuff, no Itachi saying like I'm not slandering Itachi, but
I love Itachi. Were you attacking him?
no, I wasn't attacking, but if you want to see Itachi done amazingly, Maki holds the cake for that. But yeah, no, Shippuden is it's a lot wordier, a lot more things happen. It was during the era where the studio was like, oh, we can milk this and people won't
Oh,
care.
they milked him.
And so
yeah.
they also made Bleach, they also made Black Clover. And so like that was like the era where like they're like, oh, we can just put a flashback, we can make a filler and just like whatever, we can hold off. And like eventually people got bored and were like, all right, I'm going to read the manga, or I'm gonna wait for the next Storm game to come out. And when that came out, everyone loved it because it basically finished the story. Who's Maki? What am I missing? Maki is the girl with glasses in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Mm-hmm.
The best female character in Jujutsu Kaisen.
We'll see.
Oh, you will see. You will see, and you will eat crow.
I'm gonna switch to the anime, and I'll
Yes.
go from there. I mean, are they still in the Shibuya arc?
They just finished Shibuya.
They did.
Oh,
It just finished.
Are they gonna stop there? Or is
they stopped at the return of that character. If you remember,
Okay.
that's literally the ending, and then the consequences of Shibuya. Jujutsu Kaisen
Hey,
was
Mark.
Hey Marg, how you doing?
Hi, Mark.
Jujutsu was a thing where I was like enjoying it, but in my head, I'm like, when I was reading the manga, I was like, I don't know who my favorite is. Like, I like these characters a lot. It's really good to have a bunch of really nice characters. Season 3 will it'll be obvious who favorites are since like Gojo's gone and stuff like that. But they immediately I was like, oh, these two are immediately my favorites, and I'm glad that this happened. But yeah, it's very wordy, so I do get it. But trust me, if you keep going, you'll love it.
Okay.
And yeah, where I picked back up from the manga, I
Mhm.
enjoyed the hell out of it. I like read the whole. I think it was volume 20, was where I stopped, and it was really good.
Good. So I see Mark joined the chat, and Kitty's trying to rile her up and say something about Berserk that's going to set me off. Let's move past this.
Okay.
So I went over. I got rid of Berserk. I also not Berserk. Sorry.
Got rid of Berserk. What?
No. JJK Demon Slayer. No longer allowed in another world.
Another
There's
world,
no
these are what he dropped.
Yeah, this is what he dropped.
And then the fourth one would be the Promised Neverland box. I actually dropped that one mostly because I wasn't really invested in it, and I was looking for quick cash. And I was like, I'm probably not going to read this. Season 2, I heard was horrible, and
We don't talk about season 2.
yeah,
Season 2 doesn't count. I've been told season 2 does not count.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
I figure if I am going to read it, I'll probably just read it on the app. But yeah, I dropped that one.
Yeah.
But currently no interest in starting it.
My next one, and I haven't officially sold these yet, but I'm really seriously dropping this because it's another one where I feel like progress is not being made and we're just dancing around in circles. And that would be Go Go Loser Rangers.
Oh wow.
Actually, I can understand that.
I have a couple volumes of it. I haven't started it out.
It started off really good, and he's going into this plan, and then suddenly he's now in the academy, but then we're just kind of like stalemate. I mean, it's like he's just kind of like he's doing all the things with everybody, but he's not actually going through with his plans or anything.
There's an academy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Sorry,
Spoilers.
I didn't mean to spoil that for you.
No, I'm glad you did. I'm glad.
Well, they did mention that there are students. I mean, it's not just one Red Ranger. There's a whole faction of Red Rangers.
I know there's like a faction and everything.
Yeah,
like,
they always get replaced by somebody when time comes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's an academy. Oh God, no.
But the volume 3, you'll get there, and it's a test on whether or not you're gonna want to continue.
I think I have like the first 4 or 5 volumes, and that's going to be my litmus test. And then it's on K Manga. I know a lot of people slander it, but it's been good for me for some series. So
you're the one that's keeping it alive.
Yes. Surprisingly, it's holding it on. I made use for it, but yeah, if I feel like it and I don't want to collect it, I'll read it on there. But yeah, no, Academy is a big con for me, because why does everything need an academy?
Well, and I think it's held back his progress, because now he's like trying to become a ranger, but he's not really going through with what his original plan was, and now it's almost like he forgot what he is, and he's just like, I'm like, can we get back to like the purpose of his story? Like unless you want, and they're not executing it well, they're trying to say, well, maybe he's now diverting from path purposely, but I'm kind of like, oh my God, get to it. And I'm like, nah, it's like what? And then there's you complained about talking. There's a bunch of parts, especially when you get to the academy, where he's spending a lot of time interacting with people, and there's not as much action until like the end of the book or chapter, depending on how you're reading it. And then you're just kind of like, okay, now we got the good stuff, and then you got the good stuff, and suddenly you stop and you move on to something else. And we're once again him talking with somebody, he's hiding somebody, he's interacting with rangers and trying to hope they don't figure out that he's not who he's pretending to be. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Anthony, I'd say that if you read Volume 3, it's a great big info dump. It's going to test on whether or not you actually want to continue with this series. Because I read that one, I like it, and I liked it so much I pushed through that. Now, 4 was
Yes, I did
okay.
too.
4 was okay. I need to read 5, and I think I also have 6, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, look, but it's at a point right now. It really needs to decide. Like I agree with you. It needs to decide where it's going, and it needs to do something right now. But Anthony, I was just saying, Volume 3 is going to be a test for you, whether or not you actually want to go forward with it.
Right.
It's like a lot of info
Mhm.
dumping, and you're just kind of like, okay, can we get back to the Rangers doing Ranger stuff and him devising his plot? And
Going through
but
with
now I
it.
feel like it's basic academy school stuff, like, oh, training to be the next Ranger, and you're like, what happened to the story?
When did we get into My Hero Academia? It was like,
Oh God.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like suddenly it's decided it's going to change the whole what this story was supposed to be.
Mhm.
oh,
All
yeah.
right, what's your next one, Anthony?
All right, my number 4. This is actually the only. I believe this is the only series that I dropped that I still own. And this is one where I wholeheartedly believe like I'll read a couple more volumes, and if it's still like if I still feel the same way, I will sell it and just drop it. It is Murcielago. This is volume 4. I just got the random volume from my shelf.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is
I'm like,
this little shit right here, where this little shit is the worst main character I've ever met. If
Oh,
you
wow.
if you want to talk about fan service and how it's done horribly, and I own the first 20 volumes, and I am very sad that I made this purchase. Going into it, all I knew that it had to do with a serial killer. I
Mhm.
like true crime, so I'm like, all right, cool. This should be good.
mhm.
This will be cool. It's got 20 volumes out published at the time. It's got to be good. Like it's 20
Mhm.
volumes, and it's apparently still ongoing. I read the first volume, and the serial killer is the main character. So I was like, all right, cool. We're gonna follow a serial killer. She is a cop she was supposed to be given the death sentence, and then they were like, wait a minute, actually you can help us. You're a cop now, and you like women to the point where like it's gross and weird. And yeah, so she just like loves to fondle women. She has a type, but literally I think it opens with her like banging a chick, and like they're trying to get her, and I'm like, they're trying to get her to like work on the job, and it's like, okay, cool, like maybe like this is just a pilot chapter. I think I've read the first 2 volumes. It's been the exact same thing. Go
Mhm.
go on an adventure. She finds a girl. She oozes over the girl. She does her cool badass stuff, and
Yeah.
then eventually she'll kill the villain, but like still try to bang the girl that's there. And it's very weird. It's very much like it's trying to be funny. It's basically if you told a degenerate to make me a manga, this is what they would come up with, and it's literal trash, and it was not good.
Okay.
So I like stopped
Got it.
after volume 2. I still do intend to read the volumes because I'm like, hey, I have them, so I want to at least
Yeah.
like give it a try. But I
Yeah.
totally see myself like selling it because yeah, no, it's if you like fan service and you like weird fan service, that's for you because they just don't care. But yeah, no, nothing redeeming about it at all.
Shoot. I love my fan service, but that sounds disgusting.
I can't even say the art looks good.
That sounds like,
Oh, wow.
what the
Yeah,
hell?
because like she's drawn like a Slenderman type, so it's like weird. She's all lanky and stuff, so like she'll look creepy, and so it's very weird. It's like fan service, but it's like
Yeah.
you look weird doing
Yeah.
everything, and it's like no, and they don't shy away. She like literally says what she wants to do to them, like to their face, and is very open about it. I'm just like you suck, you suck.
Pianki.
Wow. All right. So, I don't think I can match
Keep calling
that.
all you.
Oh, dang. You.
Calling all yeah, no, it's very bad. And like when I started reading it, I started getting into like the Goodreads app where like you can just review shit. on there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, like let's see like the star ratings for this. It's like 4 out of 5 or like 3 out of 5s. Like people like it. I'm like, what?
You know who's written that.
I'm like, all right, I see the fan base for this because like this is horrible. I think like I rated like the first volume a 1, second volume a 2. Like it's really not that good. Like, if you like fan service, go ahead, be weird about it. That's your series, but no,
like very weird fan service.
It's very weird. If you fantasize about 2 women that are very well endowed, making love to each other, and just want awesome fights, Bo, I see you writing it down. Go right ahead. You can buy this off me if you want to.
Like I said, I'll take it.
Yeah.
No.
Mark,
okay,
yes.
Bo.
Mark, I feel like you would hate it. Mark, like you give volume 1 to Mark.
Mark would definitely hate it.
She'd be like, all right, I didn't finish it here. Yeah, it's really bad.
No. When I say this one, my last one that I dropped, I know somewhere out there, Dark Sage is like holding something that's fragile and can break. I'm gonna say this, and out of nowhere, he's just gonna drop it. And like, what?
He's gonna tweet at you.
Oh no! Oh no!
JoJo's. I dropped JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Now the question is, what part did you
Which
drop it
JoJo?
on?
3. I did actually enjoy part 2. That was actually not bad.
Mhm.
Part 3 is, oh my god, this is boring. I am being put to sleep. I cannot finish another chapter.
So Chase will hate you. I will applaud you because part 3 is very overrated. It's the one that a lot of people turn to, saying like, oh, if you want JoJo at its most JoJo, like part 3, like it's the most popular one. Like it's great. It's very much a Scooby-Doo.
Monster of the Week.
Villain of the Week, Scooby-Doo, and then eventually you get to the main villain. And by the time, if part 3 really depends on like if you like a character, because if you don't like the Joe Bros, as the squad is named, if you don't like any of them, you're gonna hate it because some of them are unlikable. Like I think I only like 2 of them by the end. Like I like Joseph because he's part 2, and I like the
I like Joseph.
I like Polnareff. Those were the main 2 I liked, and then Kakyoin every now and then was fun. But if you go into the part where they get to Egypt and you don't like anybody, by the time you get to the main villain of the arc of the whole thing, you want the main villain to win, because that was me. I got to the main villain and I was like, oh, I hope he murders everybody because they kind of suck. But yeah, no, it's very overrated. I will say though, there are better parts that encapsulate the essence of JoJo. I'm not a big JoJo head, but if someone were to tell me like, hey, I want to get into JoJo's, like what's the best option, I say find the one that you like the most. Start at the beginning. It might be a slog, but it's short at least. Part 2 is very fun. Bo said he liked part 2. It's really good and wacky, even though it doesn't have the stands. Part 4 is the most down to earth version of JoJo's, and if you like wackiness but like want a somewhat realistic setting, like go ahead, it's fun. Part 5 is the most JoJo's. I don't care what people say about part 3. Part 5 is the most JoJo's it gets because it gets bonkers and I like it. And that squad is a lot better than Fight Me. It's unpopular, but that squad is a lot better than part 3 squad because it's just great. And like part 3 is very long. Part 3 is I think part 3 is the longest from like the original like parts, and like it's very long. So like if you don't like Villain of the Week, it'll get very repetitive. And if you don't like the Dragon Ball Z method of the main character comes at the end just to murder the guy, you won't like it either. That was my big thing. Jotaro just comes at the end and just will murder the dude, and that's it. It doesn't matter who's fighting him this week. You gotta wait for Jotaro to come in and be like, you know what? I'm gonna just give him a couple bunches, and then we can just move on.
Yep.
See, I almost didn't get to part 2 because I didn't like part 1, and then I got to
part
part 2
hard
and
to
I
get through.
part 2.
Yes.
And then I started to read part 3, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, like Vincent said that he didn't make it past episode 2. I would ask you to go past part 1 and start on episode 2 and see if you like that, because part 2, not episode 2, part 2. Sorry.
Yeah, I will say, if you are hell bent on like starting from the beginning at part 1, you need to be ready to binge part 1 in its entirety in that session. You should, because I think it's 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Either get through it and binge it, or like binge it in 2 days. It's very fast, and the second half of part 2, when they get to the actual like main fight, is pretty good, I will say. It's very boring at the beginning. You only know it for the dog, but besides that, like it's decent. But if you really want to watch part 1, go ahead. Apparently, people say skip the first season. They say skip the first season, but they mean part 1, which is the first 8 episodes, because part 2 is really good. Part 2 is like, I think, my second favorite part at the moment. Like I really like part 2. But yeah, it's very hard with the JoJo's verse. It's very complicated, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give it. Yes, he enjoys the memes. The memes are awesome. It's like, nah, skip the whole thing. Bad kitty.
All right. Next one.
I think Carrie, it's your last one, I think, or your fourth.
Yeah.
I forgot.
No, I got one more.
Okay.
I think we all have one more.
Yeah.
This one.
Oh.
I was interested in it, but then I kind of fell out of it. Like I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain. It's just like it's sitting there.
No. Yeah, I will agree. I'm literally staring at that cover right next to me. It's literally like right there, just staring at me.
I read the first
it's right
2
there.
and I haven't gotten back to it. So I'm like, why even bother? I'm not like
I'm waiting for the final volume at this point, because it's
I
short.
might binge read it. I might. It's just I just kind of like, I don't know. Margot, she dropped that one after volume 2.
Yeah. Carrie, what is this?
Bianca, it is a Galaxy Next Door.
Oh, no. Don't be telling him that.
It come in like somebody said my name.
I'm telling you, he's somewhere. He's like,
I've been summoned.
Right somewhere.
I've been summoned.
Why am I pissed
like,
off?
Someone's bashing JoJo. I sense it.
But yeah, Galaxy Next Door, trash. I wanted to like that. I watched the anime too, and very generic.
I haven't finished the anime either.
Oof.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to know: is she really an alien? What? That's the only thing.
I feel like it'd be weird if she wasn't.
I almost feel like skipping to the end.
I think they established that she's an alien like in the beginning, so that'd be weird if
I'm
an alien.
And it's like, oh, by the way, this stinger stung you. Now we're married or whatever, and
something like that.
I don't know. There's too many. The market's saturated with stories like this, and there's way better ones than that.
I think that's what I'm reading the better ones, and I'm like, oh, I'll get back to that at some point, and I'm like, then I never did.
Yep. So.
All right, what's your one?
She's just delusional. Oh, for me, shoot, I honestly. Oh wait, yes.
Anthony?
Oh, Anthony.
Yeah. Berserk.
I'm sorry. Say that again. Berserk.
I said Berserk. I'll explain why. Bo is gonna hate me. Bo's probably gonna turn off his camera. I knew it. I called it. So I'll explain. He left. That's even worse. Oh, Carrie, no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. It's not for what you think. Waiting for Bo to come back. It's not for what you think. I waited for this to disclaim.
Hi, Laura.
Hey, Laura. You caught it at the right moment. Berserk. Basically,
Bo's mad. Run away.
Bo left. Basically, I dropped Berserk because if you're getting into Berserk, I'm sorry. There is only one way. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be something like that. I knew it was gonna be something like that. You had to wait. You had to wait what I was gonna say. So if you want to get into Berserk, even though it's very controversial, I do not care. There is only one way to experience Berserk in its manga format, and it's right behind Bo. I made the mistake of getting the singles. That was my thing. So I like got all the singles for like a lot, really cheap. So I was like, all right, cool. I made a whole thing about it. Like I was gonna read Berserk. I read the first arc, which is the first 3 volumes. And I thought, oh, this is really good. I enjoyed it. Like it's very hack and slash, but like the story of Guts is like it's very much in the background to where I did get it. I'm like, oh, like there's something troubling him. Like you can apparently, it's very apparent when you read it. Like I think at the end of the second volume, you see him cry, and so like I've always seen that panel of him crying, and so I'm like, oh, that has to be like way later, right? But like no, that's at the beginning. And so I'm like, oh, like there's actual character to him, and so I enjoyed reading the first 3 volumes, and then I was like, I should get the deluxes because they, even though the covers for the singles are very beautiful, they're very nice. Shout out Miura, so it's really nice. The deluxes are just very nice. I held one. I think I held one like the week after, and I was like, no, I had to get it this way. I needed it that much, so I wound up selling it because I was like, I'm not going to be reading this. Mario's like, no. But yeah, no. Berserk is not bad at all. From what I read, but it's pretty obvious if you're going to read it, you have to read it in the deluxe edition because there's too much of the singles, and the Berserk deluxes look very nice, and the paper quality is really good. And turn the page away, Bo. You're gonna show something that you can't show. Yeah,
I know about to say I don't get my channel, take it down. Be careful there.
So yeah, no, it's not because I didn't like it. It was just I collected it in the wrong way.
There you go.
Look at that, and just getting that
and in a bigger format, it's even more amazing seeing those.
It's good in a big format. I'm trying to find something random like this Batman volume, like getting that in just a page of this, like that's it. It doesn't do it justice. Miura is well known for being someone who loves canceled. Miura is well known for being very detailed to the point where people hated him for being so detailed. So the deluxes are the way to go, or if not, go read a scan because you can blow it up however you want. So I just collected it the wrong way. That's all it was. I will get back to it. Just I need to find them at a good and affordable price, or I just find Bo's address and just pay his room a visit and just steal a couple volumes. But he won't notice.
Bo is just trolling the chat right now.
It's like,
all right, Bo, what did you drop? What else did you drop? Oh my god! Besides dropping a Berserk on Spy Family, what else did you drop?
Yes, Marg. The art is amazing, and the art warrants you to read it in the best way possible. So the singles do not do it justice.
Oh shit!
No, they don't.
Well, I don't have it nearby. It used to be a doorstop and used to actually hold up my Berserk, but Zom 100 is one that I dropped.
Knew he was gonna say that.
Yes. Last year I dropped Zom 100 like a bad habit. That one started off really good, very relatable. Enjoyed it for the first few volumes. Then I got to a point where it feels like it could actually have stopped, but it kept going, and it just honestly got boring. As flimsy and small as those volumes are, not worth the price that they're charging for it.
Oh, definitely. I managed to get like one of the volumes for like half off. I'm like, this is better.
Oh yeah,
it's better. Like less than $10. It's very much you pick it up and you're done with it in 15 minutes. Like that was the only thing. Like I agree with you. The beginning is really fun, very relatable. But I think I stopped at volume 3, honestly. Because I was reading better things. I think I was reading Alice in Borderlands, and that was my read of 2023. And so I was like, he does way better before, so like I'm gonna stick with this. But show your dirty mouth. Not gonna hate on it till like it's
the reason
done.
Why I was canceled.
Yeah. And then I feel like something like Zom, you read the first volume and you kind of know how it's gonna end. Like he's either going to complete the list and die, or he's going to miss one thing off the list and he will die, and it'll be very sad. But no, it's like the Comey thing. Like you know the goal, you just got to wait for him to get there, and if he gets there in a couple volumes, great, cool story. You're dragging it, all right. I'm gonna have to wait till you're over and done with. I've heard the anime is really good though.
Yeah, it's decent, but not good enough to get continued. I mean, right, Mark?
Yeah. I think they took like a month or whatever to like finish it.
Yeah, they did.
And they're just like, what, Christmas we're gonna drop everything on. We're done with it. So yeah, but
yeah.
But
All right, my
yeah,
last one.
yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. My
No, no, good.
last one. It started off very interesting, but I don't know. Sometimes I think certain things get a little much. Like I have no problem watching, reading stuff like with a very adult content, but Gigant. I think the story was quickly taking a backseat to the nudity.
What nudity?
Whatever do you
Where?
mean? She's
Where do you
wearing
find
clothes
And it
here.
was
this?
just like the story was interesting, but then it was just kind of okay, like it kind of it was weird between the relationship between her and the
Carrie,
underage kid.
Carrie, be honest. That shit sucked. that
It
shit
did
sucked.
suck.
It, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, volume twos for some series are really bad, and Gigant or Gigant, whatever you want to call it, is the worst volume two I've ever read. Because
Yes,
the dude,
yes, and that's
the
about it.
the good job. I have the entire series because I want to do a video series on like the creator's three main works, Gantz, Inuyashiki, and that. So I'm eventually going to get to that. But yeah, no, that volume was one of the worst volumes I've ever read in a manga. The parallel to this because these are horrible. But yeah,
Salivating right now.
no, trust me. I will say the one positive. I forgot her name, Papiko or whatever. I forgot her name, Papiko. I think that's her stage name or whatever. She's actually a really nice character. I enjoy like her
Yes,
character like has some depth to it.
she
Like
had
it's cool.
development.
Yeah,
Yes,
she like there was development there and you can see it. But damn that freaking lunch scene or dinner scene or whatever is one of the worst scenes I've ever read in forever. Like, and the fact that like the end goal was like okay, like they're together. It's freaking weird, but I'm like, eventually this is gonna get addressed, right? And you stopped that volume two, right?
yeah. I got volume 1 and 2. I'm trying to sell.
I stopped at 5, I think, if I remember correctly. She meets his parents, and it's like okay, what does she do? And then like they find out, and then they find out like she's a whole kaiju, and it's like, oh my god, that's crazy. But like she's also an actress. I don't know how to
Entertainment
feel about
actress.
this. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
adult
an actress.
entertainer.
She's an actress. We don't know how to feel about this because at first they were like negative, but like she winds up saving their lives, and it's like, all right, it's weird. But yeah, no, it's very horrible,
Yeah.
and like I don't like the main character at all. I agree with Marg. Inuyashiki is the best thing he's written.
Oh, I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's so easy to read. So story's
very,
really great.
very fast. You will like one of one side A or side B, and it's really good. Gantz is if it wasn't in chunky form or just hard to find, the beginning for that is really bad, but eventually it winds up being good. But yeah, Gigant or Gigant or whatever is leaps and bound the worst thing he's ever made, and it's very sad.
To know you're weird.
Yeah, but the thing is that that volume one is an eye catch. I will say a lot of people look at that volume one as like, oh, pink haired girl with a Uniqlo shirt. I recognize Oku. Like, I'll pick this up, and then yeah, that's how they get sucked in most of the time. But yeah, no, like that was not good. And when I eventually go to finish the story, I'm not looking forward to it at all. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like
was just like
Bianca's so aggressive today.
Yeah, I'm having trouble connecting with the chat. I think things are starting to get affected by the storm out there.
Okay.
But is there anything else you guys want to like bring up before we close out the show?
Not really, nothing too much, man. I'm glad we're able to start this off again. I think we've
Yeah.
been away for
Mhm.
so long. I'm reading more manga now. I'm back at it. Be a while before I make another video. I'm still
Yeah.
at a
You'll
new
get there.
job right now. So
I'll get there.
But you'll be here on Otaku Tuesday.
yep.
Yeah. Pretty much same with Bo. I'm glad we're doing this again. Very fun to just hang out, talk, enrage, all that stuff. Very fun. I'm getting slowly back into video making. I made my single resolution is to make a video a month or publish a video a month at least. So I'm gonna try that at least. Last year I did I looked at the Crunchyroll Award nominees, and that was very fun doing it. I think that comes out in a couple days, so that'll probably be the next video. And then I compiled a list of all the volume ones that I own that are just volume one. So like if I own something like Galaxy Next Door, I have the entire series. It's not a part of it. Strictly volume ones on their own. I'm gonna be reading them all throughout January to see if I continue them or not. Basically, like the one volume rule.
Nice.
Does it actually work? So anything that I own that I just have volume one of on its own, I'm gonna be reading it this month and just doing a video on that.
Laura, what's going on?
Laura.
Oh, Bianca must be there. Got a video I'm got to finish up tomorrow night to release on Friday. I'm gotten back into talking about some comic books, and this will be a little more positive than the last one I did. Plus, I am going to be talking about a manga next Monday. I was going to do it this week, but I didn't get a chance. With a very unusual twist when it comes to superhero powers, so stay tuned for that one. And is there something you want me to show, Bo?
Yeah, go ahead and share. This is actually, I had to think about it. I was like, wait a minute, I was working on something. I will be bringing this back. I will be doing another stream on Otaku Games. So it's our little game show where we add a few little twists where contestants will answer questions and earn points and be able to use these points to affect other players and increase their chances of winning, losing. And yes, chat will be able to participate and help affect the outcome, maybe award points, maybe take away points. It's all being rebuilt right now. I decided to change the look, so you might notice everything's all over the place.
Interesting. Yeah, I was thinking of doing like a game type series where like I was thinking like higher or lower for like mouse scores. That'd be fun. Mm-hmm. Just like something short. Bring a guest on. Be like, hey, just higher or lower. Guess the score. Like something simple like that. But yeah, I remember you doing it, and like it seemed very fun. So that'll be great when it comes back up.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have fun with it. So I think it's better to do streaming. It's easier for me.
Yeah, for that stuff, totally.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to do more videos again because I've been out of the loop, so I've been missing doing videos, and it's off to a great start. So I'll be having more coming into the next week. Also, everybody, these two guys, their links are down below in the description, so please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button on my channel. Again, thank you for all those who have donated to help me out with my mom's situation. If you haven't already and you're interested, the GoFundMe is down below. And we will see you all next week for some, more Otaku Tuesday. See what the outrage is then. In the meantime, have a good night.
See you guys.
Later.